How do I warm up for the bench press? Well, three things we want to cover here. First off, mobility, more precisely dynamic mobility, as we don't want to blend in any static stretches before our workouts. Second thing is activation. Think of it like this: which muscles do you need to use in a bench press? And which of those muscles do you have a hard time actually finding and using? Focus your activation on those muscles. And then lastly, how to gradually increase the weight on the bar towards your top sets. I'm going to use two examples today, one of an athlete with 50 kilo times 2 as their top set, and one of 120 kilo times 3 as their top sets, to give you an example of how to gradually add weight to the bar toward your top sets. Let's go. Starting off with mobility, how mobile are you and what have you done today? Have you been sitting around all day or have you been moving around? If you've been sitting around, you might be too stiff. If you've been moving around, you might be too mobile. As powerlifters, we want to be mobile, but not too mobile like spaghetti. And we also want to have some stiffness, but not too much stiffness. We want the best of both worlds to enhance our technique and use the right muscles. For most people, what we want to focus on in our mobility exercises, in our warm-up, in the bench press, is shoulder blades, upper back, and in some cases also front thighs. And front thighs, that's because it can help keeping your hip higher. Can you keep your hip higher? You will be able to increase your leg drive. Here's an example of a mobility routine that you can do before your next workout.
First off, cat-cow stretch, and here you can do this against the floor or against the wall, and the point is to push your shoulder blades away from each other to get a nice stretch in your upper back by pushing the floor or the wall away from you. You can do 5 to maybe 10 reps in this one. Second, we got wall slides, and here you want to keep your core, your back, and your arms against the wall at all times, allowing only your shoulder blades to do the work. You can do 5 to maybe 15 or 20 reps depending on your mobility. Secondly, or lastly, we got spider lunges, and here this is just a nice mobility exercise to open up your hips and front thighs to enhance your leg drive. Maybe 5 to 8 reps per side is enough.
Let's jump into the activation. So a lot of people might believe that you should focus on your chest muscles, but no, focus on your lower traps, your upper back, your lats instead, because this will help keeping your shoulder blades in position, and that will give you a more solid base to push from, allowing your chest muscles to actually work more and allow you to push more weight. And here's some activation routine that you can use before your warm-up.
First off, banded pull-aparts. Here the point is to pinch your shoulder blades together while pulling the band apart to get a nice burn in your middle upper back between your shoulder blades. You can do 8 to 12 reps here. Secondly, we got lat pull-downs, and here you want to use a very light weight, as the point is to pinch your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulders down before lowering your elbows. You also want to use a slow tempo on the way down, a pause at the bottom by your shin, and a slow tempo on the way up, and then repeat the entire movement. We do this because we want to engage our lower traps, because the lower traps is what will help you build a solid foundation and a solid base for your bench press, which will allow you to use and to move a lot of weight. Then we got bat wing rows, and you have the same focus here. Pinch your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulder blades down, and then initiate the pull. You also want to make a pause here at the top in order to squeeze your shoulder blades together, making sure you get that burn and activating your lower traps and upper back so you can have that solid foundation in your bench press. You can do this for around maybe 6 to 10 reps, both in the lat pull downs and the bat wing rows.
Now we're warm, we worked on our mobility, we also activated the right muscles. Now we obviously want to jump right into the bench press and gradually add weight on the bar towards our top sets. Like I said, 2 examples. Let's say you have a top set of 120 kilos. How do you want to gradually add weight on the bar for this? Here's one example. Start with the bar, 1 set of 8, then go 40 kilos, 1 set of 5. 60 kilos, 1 set of 5, 75 kilos, 1 set of 5, 85 kilos, 1 set of 5, and then do 92.5 kilos, 1 set of 3, 100 kilo, 1 set of 3, 110 kilo, 1 set of 3, and 115 kilos times 3, and then your top set, 120 kilos times 3. Then let's say instead you have a top set of 50 kilo. Now you could instead do 3 sets on the bar of 8, and then 2 sets of 30 kilos times 5, and then 35 kilo times 5 for 2 sets, and then 40 kilo times 3 for 1 set, 45 kilo times 2 for 1 set, and then 50 kilo times 2. As you can see, if you count, there's 9 sets in both of these lifters. So for the warm-ups. So the reason here is like the 120 kilo lifter has a higher top set and can increase the weight for each and every set in order to get warm and to get up to that weight. However, the 50 kilo lifter instead has to actually do more sets on the lighter weights to get just as warm and also train their technique and get ready to use that technique in their top set more. If the lifter on 50 kilo would do like, let's say the bar 30 kilos and then 40 kilos, that would mean two very, very high jumps and not as much work for this lifter as the 120 kilo lifter. So instead, focus on doing more. If you have a lighter top set, focus on doing more sets on your lighter weights. And if you have a heavy top set, focus on just adding gradually a lot towards your top set. And I think that for the bench press at least, it's not the same for the squat or for the deadlift, but 9 sets is pretty much a good way to go. So that's one thing that you could try. And also think about your warm-up set like this. This is an excellent opportunity to focus on your technique and to actually prepare your body to use the technique. So put as much thought and energy into your warm-up sets as you would on your top sets on these heavy weights, because just make every rep look the same, every rep, every set, no matter the weight, each and every one, it counts. Try this exercise or try this warm-up next time and let me know how it goes, because this is how you warm up for the bench press. Bye.